Here with me I have Sergey Novikov from Kasperski Lab. Mr. Novikov, how do you find Webit this year?
You know, I'm here for the first time, and as I can see, this is quite a huge event with very good participants, quite many visitors. So I find it very interesting, and to be honest, I was really surprised of how huge this event is.
What are the hottest trends in digital and online security?
The hottest trends, many. It's difficult to say one or two. Maybe, globally speaking, all threats nowadays are going from the internet. So many infected web pages nowadays, so legitimate pages. You can trust this page for years, and once you can enter it and infect your computer. And there is a myth that to infect your computer, you need to execute a file. There is a myth. You don't need to execute a file nowadays. You can only click on the link. This link was infected by cyber criminals, and you will infect your computer. And you don't even know that it was happened. Nowadays, the viruses, worms, malware, it plays like you don't know that your computer is infected. You don't see it, you don't feel it, anything. But at the same time, there is a small Trojan which collects all your data, all your private information, and quite easily sends it to the author, to the cyber criminal. And once you can identify that your mail account is stolen or your social networks account is stolen, and the most dangerous thing here, that you have lost your money on your credit card, for example. Other trends are rogue antiviruses, fake antiviruses, SMS blockers, which, for example, how it plays. For example, there is a small utility, you can easily execute it, or some other Trojan can execute it, and then you see your operation system is absolutely blocked. You can't work on it. It can be pornographic or some other picture, and you haven't got access to start, to my computer, my documents, anything. You can't do anything. And there is a small message. If you want to unblock your operation system, just send this SMS message to this short primary number, and each SMS message costs you $10 or $20. The problem here is even if you send this SMS message or pay some amount of web money, you don't get the unblocking code. That is the problem. Here we have a solution in, for example, our corporate Kasperski site. We have a service that helps for victims for these SMS blockers, and they need to put on the Kasperski site this short number, and then we send him an unblocking code. This is absolutely for free.
And how does the diversification of devices used to access the internet change the area of online security?
Verification of, sorry?
Diversification, I mean mobile phones, different devices that are used to access the internet. How does this change online security?
Good question. Talking about mobile security, it is also a trend. Now we see the number of smartphones is increasing, and the number of different operation systems on smartphones is also increasing. We have Symbian, we have Windows Mobile, we have BlackBerry, we have iPhone, we have Google Android, and almost all these platforms are now was attacked or now attacking by cyber criminals, and we have more and more Trojans for mobile platforms. And the problem here is that on your mobile phone you have even more private information than on your computer. For example, I'm sure many people can have their PIN codes, their passwords on their smartphones. And all this private information can be stolen by cyber criminals, unfortunately. So the trend here, as smartphones are getting more and more popular, cyber criminals at the same time trying more and more attack these devices.
And are traditional threats still more relevant and more dangerous compared to new threats connected with the use of social media, for example, stolen identity, etc.?
What do you mean by all threats? Sorry.
Traditional threats connected with software use.
Talking here is traditional threats like viruses and worms maybe not so popular nowadays. The most popular threats are Trojans from the internet, which are not spread, but it can be, as I told before, it can be one page can be infected, and a lot of visitors of this page will be infected too. So it's not propagated by itself. But anyway, there are some worms, and for example, Kido Configure is also quite famous and very well spread all over the world, not only in Eastern Europe, but also in Asia, in Russia, in the United States, and in European countries. It is a simple worm, which is a kind of backdoor, which is a kind of botnet, which spreads using vulnerabilities in operation systems, brute forcing passwords, and using USB sticks. Talking about threats for social networks, the number of it is also increasing, very hugely increasing. And here is the problem that, as many of you know, customers, users of social networks have a trust to everybody. That is a problem. They trust to their friends in contact list, and they can do what their friends are telling them. But their friend's account can be hacked, and it is not your friend, it is not your girlfriend, boyfriend, doesn't matter. But instead of it, there is a cyber criminal who sends you a message with an infected link, for example, and you also can be infected, unfortunately.
And my last question, how does Kasperski plan to develop its presence and its operations in the region, in Central and Eastern Europe?
Thank you. I think it's more a business question, and as I'm not maybe a business person, it's better to ask our representative from business. But talking about Eastern Europe, this is a very interesting market for us, and we are definitely planning to increase our representative here. Thank you.
Thank you very much.